Okay, good.
There, now my mic's working. Hi there, folks. Welcome to session 2 of our Dragon Age TTRPG campaign. I am your keeper, which is our version of a dungeon master. I am your keeper, Son of Asgard, or World Tree Quests here on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. With me today, we have got 3 of 4 of my cast. We have got Wacky Man TV, we have got Stories from the Rosies, and we've got Witty Witch.
Yeah, Witty X Witch. Witty Witch.
Witty X. I knew there was an X somewhere, and I was about to go, is it X Witty Witch or is it Witty Witch X? I couldn't remember. Witty X Witch.
In the middle.
Our lovely warrior is unfortunately not with us today because they're doing the unfortunate thing of travelling. They're in an airport right now. We love you, buddy. Travel safe. Don't let the travel bug get you down. So today will be a very chill session. And if you watched our session 1, we will be taking a little quick jump back in time to before our Kunari was recruited by our wardens and their pursuit of new blood to help fight the oncoming blight. It's going to be a fairly chill session. It's going to be mostly player led, so it's one of those sessions where the DM always gets a little bit you know, I'm going to be breathing out my asshole for the next 3 hours. We're going to see how this goes. Do I have any housekeeping? That's a very Scottish thing, like, you know.
Gassy.
Breathing out your arsehole, or like, you know, if you do something and then like you get through it by the skin of your teeth, you go, that's squeaky bum cheeks. Like, stop making fun of my Scottishness, guys. This is cruel.
That's what I like. It's so good.
Americans are always going on about how they're Scottish this and Scottish that until it comes to actually doing Scottish shit, right? I'm just going to eat my Milky Way and be happy, alright? Also, your Milky Ways are weird colours, right? This is the colour a Milky Way should be.
I love it.
I'm so
But our
bad.
wrapper matches the chocolate part. What do you mean it's a weird color? It matches.
But your normal Milky Ways are our Mars bars.
That's true, though. That is very true.
I've never had a Mars bar, so.
They're really good. They're like a Milky Way.
Anyway, I've embarrassed myself enough, so I'm just going to get right into this. Do I have any housekeeping? I don't think I have any housekeeping. I will very quickly mention, guys, we won't... Sorry. Ugh.
Don't die.
We will not have session next week because, well, I'm in PAX U. And I can't take my rig and my setup with me, therefore I can't run session. Our session on the 14th is very likely not going to happen. But it might, I don't know. I have to look at things. But at the moment it's very unlikely we'll have a session after this one until we come back from our Christmas break. But I am looking at the 14th with a narrowed eye and thinking to myself, do I need to do this thing? So, other than that, I can't think of anything. So I'm just going to get right down to it. We've seen you guys when you arrive through the Korkari Wilds into Ostagar. We've seen what happens when you made your way through Ostagar, so close to the end, only to be faulted in your path. And as you guys stare down the face of this massive Hurlock Alpha, we think back to simpler times.
Oh, the good old days. Wandering through swamps.
We're actually not going to be wandering through swamps here.
Oh, okay. We're going really far back.
We're going quite a wee bit back. Quite a wee bit back. Not like massive amounts back, but you're talking maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Ostagar. That's right. Thedas is massive, people. We are looking about Yeah, but probably closer to about 3 weeks before what happened at Ostagar. You are on the northern coast of Ferelden. Just outside of a a fairly well known city in Ferelden, a city called High Ever. Warden Constable Osric is packing up his kit. He's about half a day's travel from High Ever. This is where he's heard word of a promising recruit. What is the laugh for? What's happened?
Just Abby in the background. She's like got her like little measuring tape out, trying to gauge our distance and everything.
Inch equals 70 miles, and I was just curious how long how far it was actually between Ostagar and High Ever. It's 5 inches, so 5 times 70 miles. I was just curious.
I love that.
So because if you play the Kuzland, look at us getting into the game logic. Because if you play the Kuzland opening for Dragon Age Origins, your brother says it's about a 2-week march before you get to Ostagar. See, I listen. And then Duncan repeats it. We've got about a 2-week march through swamps and forests and blistering canyons and shit. And I was like, where's the canyons? You're in Ferelden. Fuck up, buddy. Like, there's no canyons here. You've got flat ground, you've got flat wet ground, or you've got slightly hilly ground. That's it. That's what you got.
But I will say that if you were to walk straight and not stop, then it would take 1 week. Because I routed it on maps one time.
That's true, but here's the other thing, people. If you walk for a week straight, you'll die. Anyway, we're already off to a great start here, guys. But yeah, we are going to be in the north of Ferelden. We'll take it from the morning of the first day, with Warden Constable Osric packing up the last of his stuff before he makes his way in. He's made it very clear. The forest here should not have any threats. He has made a check for Templar activity, and the Templar patrols do not go out this far for High Ever. So he does not expect any. He's also made it very clear that any hunting that you do should take place mostly south because of the encroaching Banorn's lands. Other than that, all he asks is, don't touch his stuff, and don't get yourselves killed.
I shouldn't touch his stuff now.
And now I will read all of his books, and tear out the last page of every book he has. I now put it to the party. You've all just been informed that a fourth is going to be joining your merry little trip. You've been travelling with each other for somewhere between a month and a half to a month at this point. I was like, actually, I think you'll find...
It's actually been exactly 2 weeks and 3 days.
I'll have you know that I was there when Dragon Age was written. Nah. Yeah, somewhere...
magic to me.
That's what I feel like when people try to, like, I played Inquisition and I'll have you know, and I'm like, don't you I'll have you know me. I queued up to buy Origins when it was released. I've read the books, motherfucker. Kids getting into the logic.
I was in the Cullen ramen hair trenches.
I was there when Cullen wasn't a redeemable character, you little nitwit. Right? Oh, man. I was there when your fighting graphics were this. Or if you were a warrior, it was...
So bad.
when you would kill an enemy, but the blood would spurt from 5 feet to your left. Give us a remastered Dragon Age Origins, damn it! Stop remastering Skyrim and remaster Dragon Age Origins. Anyway, we're so off topic already.
ADHD, the game.
Does anybody have anything they would like to do with Osric before he heads out?
I think Vessa is kind of almost avoiding Osric because she's upset at how she was recruited. And so she's kind of finding quiet perches in like trees or something, or just finding spaces to sort of be away from Osric.
Okay. That's very, very fair. What about the rest of the party?
I don't think Tira's gonna need anything from Osric, so I think Tira's just gonna sit and pat her stuff and look like she's waiting patiently for something.
Okay. And Meryl?
I think, because Meryl's had the longest time with Osric, and he would have picked up really fast that Meryl, like, just doesn't talk. And she's
Fair.
kind of leaned on him to hold discussion so that she doesn't have to participate. So I think there's just like this little like, no, come back, kind of forlorn, like, no, I might have to talk. I don't know what to do in that situation. And then she'll just like find a place and just be reading her journal.
Okay. And with that, Warden Osric will leave. And he'll make his way to High Ever to recruit your fourth and final member. A couple of hours will pass in the awkward silence that you guys find yourselves in. After an hour or so, it's like that kind of awkwardness where it's like, we can now no longer pin this down to doing our own thing. Nobody has said a word in like an hour. When it reaches the 2 hour mark, it's like that uncomfortable awkwardness. You know, like where you've all gradually moved to sitting with your back to each other, so you're not forced to look at how you're not talking to each other. When you get to mid-morning, what's everybody doing around about kind of like the mid-morning? 2.5 hours have passed since Osric has left.
Trying to make eye contact with anybody.
Just sitting staring intently into the middle of the
Kind
camp,
of, yeah.
just looking
like
for anything.
waiting for someone to make eye contact so she can talk.
Meryl and Vessa, give me let's go. We're going to call it perception, right? So it's going to be perception, but on the specifics of type, I don't think anybody will have it, but just in case, let's go perception. Oh no! Actually, no. Actually, yes. We're going to go perception, empathy on this one. We're going to go perception, empathy.
I do not have empathy. However, there is a part. I'm not asking for this, but there is a part of me that would love to say, I can hear you looking at me. Because I do have hearing.
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. Because you're Dalish, right?
I am.
You are like bona fide Dalish, much like Tura, right?
Uh-huh. Just without
Right. I hope you don't mind me doing this, right? Meryl, I won't give it to you. Because you're like a bit Dalish, like, but these two are like, we were born in the Dales. So do you know what? I'm going to let you do perception hearing to you see. I'm going to let you hear them look at you, but I'm going to make the target number for this a little bit more difficult to see exactly how Dalish you can be. Meryl, what did you get on your empathy check?
I got 13.
13, fantastic. Vesa?
10 regular perception, 12 hearing.
Okay. So on the empathy, you were a good bit above the target number for empathy. Meryl, so what I'm going to give you is, you are very aware that someone is sitting desperate for any kind of contact, but you're just staring intently, hoping someone will give something. Jason,
straight Elmo stare.
That's terrifying. So yeah, you're very aware that someone is desperately trying to cleave through that awkwardness. Vesa, I'm going to give you the hearing.
I love it.
There's that intense body check of like, I'm being looked at.
I feel like every now and then you just hear.
As well as like, like there's silence and then there's audible silence. We're definitely in the audible silence part. Every time somebody moves, it's that quiet, you can hear their clothes moving. So you guys are both more than aware that somebody's trying to get attention, somebody is trying to break this awkwardness. Go ahead.
I'm going to drop from whatever perch I have been in and say to Tira, I can hear you watching me.
I was giving it my best attempt to, every now and then go. So.
I'd say that was successful.
Good. It's almost like we're sitting in camp for the rest of who knows how long, if he comes back, and we're just gonna stare into the walls in the woods.
I mean, I don't mind staring into the woods, but
I think I've done enough of that in my life, to be honest.
And I'm gonna ask, how did you get your Valis?
Oh, does she tell you?
What do you tell me?
I tell you to mind your own fucking business. If Dalish were truly based on the Irish, that is exactly what the answer would be.
I fought an ogre.
Oh. That's impressive.
Not really. To be honest with you. It's more just flailing and hoping that you don't get hit.
But still, to win.
I didn't say that I won, but the ogre lost.
What elven god is your Valis for?
The Dreadwolf.
Oh, lit.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've never seen a design like that before. Is that one unique to your clan?
It was. At the time.
What happened?
You're full of questions, aren't you?
Do you want it to talk?
You're right. I did want to talk. I just didn't expect it to be all about me. We were, caught outside of Tevinter.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm out here now. doing the, what is it that they say, the maker's work? She stares pointedly at Meryl, trying to see if that was the right phrasing.
Meryl like just looks briefly up from her like journal, just does a little nod, and then goes back to her journal.
I'll turn to Meryl and say, so, how did Osric find you?
I was in the woods.
You're a circle mage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you escape the circle?
No? Not really.
Why were you in the woods?
Because I was traveling?
Were you guarded? I heard that Templars sent to guard their mages.
They do.
Was there a fight?
Yes.
Were you conscripted?
No.
So you volunteered?
Kind of. Sorry, guys. Meryl is so
No, it's great.
unsociable.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving just how like awkward Meryl is. It's like
It's like throwing a period after every 2 words.
it's like too Dalish. Like, hey you, yeah, you're dressed all Dalish. Like, how Dalish are you? So good, so good.
This is becoming the annoying question asker.
No, we love it. We love a question asker. Normally that's my
Where you live
character.
in the city. Owner rent.
How about you, Vessa? Were you volunteered?
It's a little complicated.
So no.
I suppose when your options are the wardens or Shemlin poachers, there's not much of a choice.
Meryl,
Yeah.
you've lived with the Dalish long enough to understand what the term Shemlin means.
Mm-hmm. That's
Using the
short-living humans.
So using the full word Shemlin is very much almost like a, we don't like them, but yeah, like humans, short-lived. It's not quite as bad as the other version, the shortened version of Shem, which is usually said with quite a bit of venom, quite a bit of disgust in it. But how does Meryl react to that term being used? And I guess I would also further ask, would Meryl use the term Shemlin?
Not.
Fine, fair.
But she has learned very much not to be offended by it, because she's probably been called Shem before. By the like elven mages that she was in classes and training with. So she's been called all kinds of things, so I don't think she's super fazed by it.
Well, your keeper as well is, as far as the keepers that have been researched and such, and you're actually able to find information on within Dragon Age, as far as the keepers that you can find go, your keeper was actually incredibly welcoming to those who wanted to come and join the clan and such. So any within the Dalish clan who would have used the word Shemlin to describe you would have had a very, very quick word from your keeper as well.
Oh, I was thinking back at Whitespire. The mages.
Oh no, absolutely. Those are they're fucking Orlesians, right? Like,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't think
so
she would be
100%
fazed by
on
it
that
just because growing up in Whitespire, she probably would have been called that as well as Elven slurs. She probably had both
Absolutely.
of them thrown at her, so I don't think she's fazed by it.
So sorry, I just wanted to get that wee kind of touch in there because it's quite a unique perspective to have in the party at this point. So Vessa, please continue.
You muted.
You're muted. I know how to technology.
Yeah, when your options are the wardens or poachers, it's not much of a choice.
No, I suppose it's probably best that you went with the wardens then. But, I mean, sounds like it wasn't your first choice.
No, definitely not.
You volunteered.
Was that to Meryl?
That was in general. She was just saying.
In general.
Yeah. What are you reading, Meryl? You've been reading it for 3 hours, so is it riveting?
The journal.
Did you write it?
Some of it. The blank
So you've
pages.
been reading something that you wrote for 3 hours?
No, not my part.
Oh.
Slowly goes back to it.
Oh, okay. Right.
Not like herbs and stuff, or is it more of like a diary?
Diary.
A shared diary?
Inherited.
Inherited.
Inherited from whom?
My mother.
I've heard that human mages usually leave for the circles pretty young. Do you remember her?
No.
I'm glad you have it to remember her by then.
I would
That's
like everybody to roll me a perception hearing check, please.
Perception, hearing, I have none of that.
A bazillion.
Let's see if the rest of you can hear people watching you.
Oh, I rolled really good.
I have an insane number before I even add anything. So 1.
Got a 14. I am rolling amazingly well because I only have a +1. My perception.
You're rolling amazingly well because everything else is awkward as heck.
Yep.
I have
Girl notices everything but says nothing.
a 14 and stunt points.
Oh, what? How many stunt points did you get?
4.
4? Which stunts would you like to use for your hearing?
I am reading them as we speak.
Awesome. So what I'll do is I'll go for the other two. What did you get, Tira?
16.
16. Meryl, what was your total?
14.
14. Okay, so you're both going to hear it. It's the sound of bells chiming. And as the bells chime, it's as if you didn't hear it at first without the bells, but as the bells ring, coming from the city of High Ever, which even 12 hours away, the bells are going to be heard. Like, real loud.
Mm.
But it's like almost as if that has brought it to you. There's maybe a lull of a couple of minutes before you start to hear singing. Carried, echoing from the directions of High Ever. And it's probably, coming from High Ever, being picked up by small little towns along the way. And as they're joining in on it, it's becoming a bigger sound. High Ever, for humans, is quite commonly known for this happening. Villages and towns within the Banorn collecting together at this time to hear this sound. Very, very choirly singing. Vesa, have you picked your stunt points you're using?
I believe I'm going to go with resources at hand. Choose a focus that you don't have that falls under the same ability as the test you're making. Consider to have that focused until the time or venue. Oh, that's time or venue. We're about to change venues, I bet. Never mind.
We're not. No, we're not going to change venue. We're not changing venues.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I'll do that. Let me pick a thing.
Pick another check that you want to make.
Oh, that one just gives me an extra focus for a temporary time frame.
Okay, cool, awesome. So, yeah, make your pick your focus, then just let me know which one you pick, and I'll give you it for the sake of the rest of the scene that you have. As you rolled high enough, Meryl, I am going to give you this one. Could you please, if you do not mind, make me a cunning religion check, please?
Is it like religion lore?
Religion lore, yes.
Yes!
So I keep forgetting that it's religious lore. It's the focus is called. Yes, so a cunning religious lore check, please.
My roll luck just fell out, but I did get stunt points. Just the one though.
Just the one stunt point. Do you have a stunt you wish to use?
Let me look at those. What page are they on again?
The stunts are on page. Oh, look at me jumping to find them now. They are on page 133.
Perfect. Thank you. I need to put a sticky note there. So.
I'm gonna choose searching as my temporary focus.
Okie dokie. None of the stunts really fall into the situation you're in, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Purely just because of the nature of the check that's being made, so I don't think that they're going to quite ring true in this one. So what's your total?
Is so fun. Let me do this another way. That is 10 total.
Okay, 10 is just scraping the enough level of it.
I do have my talent, which is the lore one.
Okay, what does your talent allow you to do?
Oh no, I need to look at that. I should have this marked in my book. I just haven't.
Don't worry about it. It's a new system and it's only session 2, so don't worry about it. So, the talent you have is the lore talent, yes?
Yes.
At the novice level?
Yeah. So lore. So I've studied hard. When you make a successful cunning test with a lower focus, the GM should give you an extra bit of information on the topic.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Lore! Yay! For the one who knows nothing!
You know what this is. You were, in fact, probably expecting this to begin sometime around about now. This is the Chant of Light. Depending on the area you're in, it will be constantly happening. Like, if you're in like the high city of Denerim, the chant is 24/7. They do not stop. They just like, you know, like those like, you know, like you have like certain like convents and stuff where there is a prayer being said 24/7. They just rotate out the nuns that are doing it. The Chant of Light is like that in Denerim. But some places have more of a, they recant it once, takes several hours to do so, and then they just kind of like, that's it for the day. They move on. But not only do you know, you can hear this and you know this is the Chant of Light, you would also be able to hear within it that this particular chant, whatever seems to be going on in High Ever, usually they focus on main canticles, which are essentially main verses within the Chant of Light. They're going over every single canticle. Every single verse is being hit. Usually only done on very special occasions.
Okay.
Is someone getting married or something? Just a lot of noise.
It's the Chant of Light.
That clarified so much for me. I don't know what that is.
It's religion for the chantry.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense, I suppose. I don't know anything about it, but I trust you.
Does
Okay.
Meryl
Big-
give away anything about the chantry and the belief in the light and the maker?
Given her relationship with the chantry, she's having like a faith crisis in many ways, like not just with the chantry. So I don't
Okay.
know how much she would divulge about it because she's not sure where she's at with it. But if they ask her specific questions, she would answer. But she won't give it up, really, I guess.
A shocking
I'm not
turn
used
of
to playing a
events.
character who's so quiet. I'm just like, I want to tell them. Meryl doesn't do that.
Vessa, however, is overconfident in her knowledge of the chantry.
I love that. I love that for her.
And so says like the chantry is the one that forced us elves into the nomadic lifestyle. Otherwise, we would have been in the Dales.
Lovely.
What was that? I didn't hear you actually.
Oh, I said lovely. That's peachy.
Yeah, they seem a very fun bunch. One could say.
I think that's a generous read, for sure. I feel like that's very generous. But you know, what do I know?
Using the same hearing checks for all of you,
Mhm.
close to your camp is fairly close to the main road. No more than, no more than 100 yards away. Enough so inside the trees that you're blocked from main vision, but close enough you can keep an eye on the comings and goings.
Okay.
And at this point you're going to hear a very evidently human voice. Very, very high ever accent. High ever is kind of like Yorkshire. So think very. In fact, this is a bit of information I'll give you that I should have probably linked into the beginning of it. Osric is from this particular Banorn. He's from this area. He's from the High Ever surroundings and such. If I was to say any actor in the world would play Osric, based purely on their natural accent and how they look, Sean Bean.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
So they've got that like very gruff Yorkshire accent. It's that they're always going up with the sentences. And they don't say we're going to the pub. They go with some going to pub. So very, very rural, very, very broad, and usually very deep tones in how they speak. And you hear a very, very, very rural rendition of this chant, as you can hear a person and some kind of cart on the main road going by. Osric has tried his very best to kind of avoid people, especially because of his two Dalish companions here. But as this human and their cart is passing by, you can hear the sounds of, someone humming next to him, maybe a child or maybe a wife or a partner of some kind. And you can definitely hear the sound of like laughter as well. So there's at least this one human and two or three other beings there. As you can hear that passing by the road, I put to our two Dalish, who have probably had very, very little encounters, maybe zero encounters with humans. Do you want to get a closer look at these dreaded Shemlin, or do you want to just stay here, remain quiet, and not go near them?
That one.
You want to
Gonna.
stay here. You're just like, I'm not moving. I'm not going near them.
I have too much experience with humans.
Stupid round-eared humans and their weird blocky faces. Okay, and what about Vesa?
I would like to climb a tree to have a better vantage point to see
Okay.
if they start coming our way.
Okay, so you're climbing a tree. So can you make me a? That would be a dexterity. I do believe. I'm trying to remember very quickly. Is there? There? Oh no! Wait, no! It wouldn't be dexterity. I think it falls under strength climbing.
It's
Doesn't it?
strength.
It does. Strength climbing. So can you make me a strength climbing check, please?
This is going to be bad.
I'll give you, as your Dalish, I'll give you a +1 to the result.
Exclusively for trees.
That's literally the only reason I was doing it. If this was a wall, you'd be onto plums.
That makes total sense. Okay.
It's very difficult in Dragon Age to give advantage, so you just have to kind of like, in this particular instance, I'll give you a +1. Like, so.
Yeah, sounds good. That is an 11. 11? Yes, 11.
You're a Dalish climbing trees. The major advantage for terrain. 11 is well above the target number I was setting here for you.
Like a
You're able to get up to a height where, like, you know, most people would be like, what the fuck are you doing at that height? But you're like up at that height, 2 feet on one branch, leaning out with one hand.
Oh, I think she's like hooked her leg on a branch, and like she has
Oh.
her she can hold her bow with both hands right now. She has 1 foot like on and 1 foot hooked, and she is just dangling.
And you can see what is very evidently a farmer. Plump little wife sitting next to him, whether this is plump with, you know, frame, or this is, you know, with child. You don't know. Again, who knows what humans look like when they're with children and stuff like that. Maybe they sprout extra arms. Who knows? So many Dalish tell so many different stories. And there are 2 children in the back of this wagon filled with hay and vegetables and fruits and such. Despite being very evidently a farmer, he's a big man. You're talking easily in the 6'4" region, broad shoulders, broad chests. It's like a farmer that looks like a lumberjack. He's got that very top heavy but sturdy leg build. You can tell he's a farmer coming from the how tanned his skin is. Evidently working outside. It's not like just the hands or just the forearms that you would see of like a dock worker, or you would see of like a blacksmith whose hands wouldn't be tanned because of the thick gloves. This
Farmer's
is a
tan.
Absolutely, like it's the full hand, forearm, and even up to the mid bicep tan. But every other part of him is just that kind of like what I call coastal white. So like compared to my wife, who is mostly a city slicker, my wife looks quite pale. I look quite tanned because I'm a coastal boy. I grew up next to the ocean. So he's got that kind of like very, very deep tan here that you get from being out in very, very hot sun, but then going into his normal skin tone, it's that very kind of like, you've got a little bit of colour, but only because you're right next to the ocean and the sun's rays bouncing off the water all the time are always going to get you. They don't seem to be coming towards you. They seem to just be making their way on, going forwards. They have a horse with them. The horse is obviously pulling the cart. As you're the one that can see, could you make me it would be a cunning check, I'm fairly sure. No, it's not cunning. It is... What is it in? I was sure it was cunning, and apparently it's not. It's technically in communication. So, I'm just going to have to run with that. It seems quite weird for the check that I'm making, but just run with me on it. Communication, animal handling.
plus 12.
12. Horses are big, clunky animals compared to Hala.
Yeah.
Especially this one. For those of you familiar with horse breeds and high ever, you'd be looking at horses along the lines of like shires. You know, big draft horses built for like, you know, if you were to put armor on this thing, it'd be a tank, but they're built for like farm work. They are draft horses. They pull big metal plows and such. But this horse has a hitch in its step. Whether that's because of injury or because it's got something stuck in its hoof. It's your choice whether you want to do something about that. How do you get the Dalish? Hurt the animal.
I think she literally's in that tree and she's like, Andrew, I swear. Like, and so she starts kind of like hopping from tree to tree, trying to see if it is because of injury or something, try to get a little bit closer.
Okay.
And if it is injury, I would like to scrounge up some like healing herbs and try to kind of set them in the road ahead of the farmer family.
So we've already talked about the fact that you have, through your travels, you would have been picking up herbs and such like that, so I'm not going to make you roll for that. I'm going to say you've got a fairly decent collection that you could make like a poultice or such. To Meryl and Tura, you guys are going to see Vesa start moving through the treetops, following along this road. Like leaping from tree to tree with ease.
She's one of
Gonna get up and
those
follow her.
No.
She's one of those Dalish.
Damn it. She'll get up and follow.
Okay, so you get up and follow. Meryl, you're following as well?
Yeah.
Fantastic. As you move on and follow, and Tara, you're moving on and following as well. Vesa eventually gets down to, you know, coming down from the trees and moving along just within the tree line. Gets a little bit ahead of the cart, and you can see them, like, you know, pulling out herbs into like a little pouch, like a little like, scrap of fabric, wrapping it up and stuff like that. And then, like, do you just like lob it onto the road, or are you like placing it like? Are you trying to like drive by this horse with a poultice? Like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
This is like the healing mist grenade in Inquisition. Just yeet that. No, I'm kidding. I think I'm gonna try to drop it on top of their haystack.
okay, that's very, very different. That's very, very different. Okay, I don't think there's going to be a roll for that. You've got a major vantage point. You can just like kind of. So, from your treetop perch, as you're coming down, you kind of like. Do you know what? Actually, I want to see this. I want to see just how thematic we can make this. Make me I believe this one is dexterity. I'm going to ask you to make me a dexterity acrobatics check. As it's treetop, I'll give you the +1 because rogue and Dalish.
That is a 15.
A 15.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my microphone just switched up. Give me a moment.
Oh, no problem.
No, it's fine. It's all back to normal. You said a 15 there, yeah?
Yes, 15.
Okay, on a 15. You grab you as you're coming down from the trees to get to a better point. You see a sapling, right? And you do that thing where like you see it you see it in Avatar actually quite a lot, where like you grab hold of the sapling and you push into it with both your feet so that it bends and bends right down. So you bend right down, right above it, and just kind of like less like drop and more like place it right in the hay bale, and the kids are going to like. but then the sapling springs right back up into the tree line, and the kids are just like, da, 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 and they start like yelling that they saw something, like there's a magic person came from the trees and just put something in the air, and you can hear the parents like, oh God, would you quit your rubbish? I tell you, like, you can't let those kids watch the read those stories that they bring round anymore. Like they're talking absolute shite now, and like the parents are just basically going like, yeah, okay, cool, magic people in the trees, yeah, definitely, 100%. But you can hear these kids; they're absolutely fucking loving it. Like they're talking to each other about how, like, you know, just like you grew out of the tree apparently. Like they start, like, you know that way kids they just make sense of anything by just like, you know, yeah, and they came here and like they had 5 eyeballs, like, awesome, yeah, cool, that makes a lot of sense. They start just like making up all these things about how you're apparently some kind of like forest spirit who just like appeared out of a tree and put something. You can hear them rooting through the hay to find what you put in. Let me make a quick roll to see if they do understand what it is. I'm not sure exactly how smart and intelligent a human child can be in Dragon Age, but we're definitely going to find out. Yeah, yeah, they are with 2 adults, so very much could be. Let's see. Well, whatever it is, they've got stunt points. Although I don't think the stun points are going to... advantageous positioning. They're actually able to grab you and pull you off of the tree to prove it. Look that! See, I wasn't lying. Ain't this the weird thing? They only give you... They don't just give you bog standard humans. That is absolutely fine. I will use this one. Okay, so with a 14, the kind of oldest of the children, you can see them kind of unwrapping the packaging. Smells like that thing you put on Lassie's heel. And they hold it out to their dad, who kind of looks at it and like, you know, they're actually alright about that. It smells like the stuff you use for when the horses go lame. And he gives it to his wife. And the wife will sniff at it, and then it's almost as if like she sniffs it and immediately, you know, you kind of... There's definitely a sense of knowing about her. She puts her fingers into it, rubs it on, and you can see her like... And there's the sense of knowledge about it, where she does, as she tastes it, she does kind of like lean and look at the horse. And then you see her kind of like... It gets to the point where you can't hear them so much as like see them. Where you'll see her like, you know, put her hand on her husband, she gets off and she goes over to the horse. And she kind of lifts up the back hoof and like whatever it is that they do, you see her applying this to it. And you see her kind of like unhitching the horse, taking it over to a tree and hitching it there instead. And as would be the case with any Hala with this kind of hoof treatment, you'd kind of be taking them off their hoofs for a couple of hours to let the kind of poultice seep in. So the humans are going to be roadside for a few hours. But they're a good bit away from your camp now as you've followed them up the road. But I will be noting down that Vesa helped humans. Betrayed the Dalish, so you did.
Vesa helped an animal.
Okay.
Horse approves.
Tura and Meryl. You guys see Vesa, you know, do this, drop this poultice into this cart. You can see it being applied to the horse. How do you guys react to this? I mean, what Vesa did was, you know, not quite going against what Osric said to do, but definitely wasn't in the spirit of doing what he did say to do. So how are you guys... What's your guys' reactions to this?
Tira's like, us.
Tira saw nothing.
I wasn't even
never has,
there. I'm a
never will.
hallucination, baby.
Yep. No, I think Tira just turns and walks back to the camp like they didn't see anything.
Okay, so no reaction from Tura.
I think Meryl's just gonna wait for Vesta to see if she heads back to the camp or if she's gonna stay there in the tree and keep an eye on things. She just wants to make sure that Vesta's not left alone in case
so
something happens.
So Tura turns immediately and is like, okay, cool, fine, whatever, and leaves. Meryl, you're kicking about. Vesa, you can see, you know, the family stopping, tending to the horse. At this point, would you have come down from your vantage point to the tree line, or are you still up there on the tree?
I think, yeah. So once they're stopped, and she'll kind of take a look further down the road, make sure no one's like going to come and mess with them or anything, and then she'll drop down onto the forest floor. Probably like, depending on how close Meryl is, possibly right in front of her, to make her way back.
Okay. So, Meryl, Vesa comes down in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
What you'll both see before you decide to head back and such is, as they're kind of get off, and they're setting up like a wee place to sit and it's kind of decent weather, so they're kind of setting up a wee, impromptu picnic, I guess. The children are going to run over to the tree line. I dropped a dice. It could potentially be a game changer here, so I need that dice. Wherever it went. Ah, there it is. Ah, no, it's not a game changer, it's a 1. Ah. Right, okay. So, I'm not going to make you roll for it. The children don't see through the tree line at you, but you guys are able to see them as they approach the tree line, and you can hear them kind of like whispering to each other and stuff and looking around the treetops. Maybe that's why they don't see you, because they're like, look at the top of the trees, that's where the weird spirit will be. They're looking over the tree, but they don't see anything.
I think as the children kind of are coming towards the tree line, I make sure Meryl and I are like ducked behind like a shrub.
Okay. Do you tell Meryl to duck, or do you grab and pull down?
Just grab and duck.
Okay, Meryl, you are, as the children approach, you are grabbed and pulled down into the... and the children are... You recognise the piece of fabric you used for this poultice, but they've retied something up inside it, and they leave it next to the tree line. And the kind of oldest one, the boy, is going to kind of like make his way off, but the youngest one, the little girl, is going to kind of like look in for a little bit and then just be like, ta, and then turn and head back in. For some weird reason, these children have now made an imaginary friend based on you. So there is now this package sitting just at arm's length away from the tree line.
I will wait a few beats and grab
As you grab it, it's slightly wet and sticky, and also like there's something solid wrapped up in this as well.
Oh, okay.
Is it good sticky or is it child sticky? Like, which one is it? Wah! Did you say you unwrap it?
Yes, I kind of like take a peek inside.
Okay, as soon as you kind of untie it, you get you get this really, really sweet scent that hits your nose. A smell you're very familiar with. Dalish don't usually keep them because of the amount of travel and such, but it's one of the things that Dalish people readily trade for is honey. Because honey is so useful in so many different things, not just as food. Dalish would know that honey is very useful for, like, as an antiseptic. It's very, very useful in poultices, and it's incredibly useful as well if somebody gets injured. Because, you soak something in honey and slap it on, it's not moving, it's not coming off you.
Also, most importantly, a great little treat.
Also, it tastes really good, and it's like a little, almost like dumpling style ball of fried dough, smothered in honey. It's just a honey cake. and a little soldier toy. You know, very standard little wooden block base, shield, sword. Very, very standard wooden soldier toy. As the children have decided to say thank you for helping their horse.
It's so wholesome. Can't wait to see them turn into Darkspawn later.
Yeah, really. So, yeah, I will keep this wrapped up for now, and start walking back with Meryl.
And you start
Do I
walking
see
back
how
with
sticky
Meryl.
it is?
Real
Well,
damn sticky. This thing is smothered in honey.
Mara will pull out like a cloth of her own and just hold it out to be able to double wrap it so it doesn't get all of Fess's stuff sticky.
Thank you.
Vesa, oh yeah, thanks. It's really good to know that my stuff's not going to be marred by this honey, she says, walking barefoot through the forest covered in dirt and twigs and shit in her hair. Like, yeah!
Get those out easy. It's hard to get the sticky off.
It's
It's
true.
really, really true, actually. While you guys are kicking around for a couple of minutes and waiting there, Tura, as you're making your way back, I would like you, please, if you would not mind, to make me a perception hearing check. Going to be a lot of perception checks in this session today, folks.
We love it.
Perception hearing, if you wouldn't mind.
11.
11. On an 11, you can definitely hear the sound of something at your camp. What it is, I'm sorry, 11 is not a high enough number to get that particular information, but you can hear something, and it's something with like really deep breathing.
I'm gonna sneak.
You're gonna sneak? Okay,
Yeah.
Sneaking is a dexterity-based check, so that'd
Yep.
be dexterity...
Stealth?
I can't remember if it's... I was about to say, I can't remember if it's under stealth or sneaking. So it is going to be underneath stealth, yeah. So I need a dexterity stealth check from you, please.
Well, I got a single stunt point, but I don't really want to use it. Because I got a whopping 6 plus 2 plus 2. So 10?
Okay, so sneaking
I
on a
rolled
10.
2 ones.
Let's see, shall we? No, I'm not going to be that nasty. I was about to go, do I make it a wyvern? No, I'm not going to make it a wyvern. Where did I put my dice? There's my dice, there. That is a total of... Okay. Based on its perception check, you guys draw on that. As you're trying to combat its perception, you will come out on the winning side of that.
Okay.
You know, on the whole idea of meets it, beats it.
Yep.
So you make your stealth check as it's snuffling about. You're able to see a black bear.
If not friend, why friend-shaped?
I will go into my bag. I have, like, I imagine some sort of ration or something, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely have like
It's
field
not how you
rations,
guys handle
you
a
know.
black bear.
hardtack, jerky, that kind of thing.
You don't need that.
Well,
Listen, you can
I
say what you want.
am
I know that.
Dalish,
I know the
and I will
realities
feed
of how. I know the realities of how you act with bears. I'm a zoologist. I'm also Scottish. If it has a mouth, we're gonna fucking feed it.
yeah.
We get told routinely, don't feed foxes that come into your back garden. They'll just keep coming back. What do? Oh, there's half a chicken left? Yeah, just fucking throw it in the back garden for the foxes. They'll fucking eat it. Like, all the time. All the time.
Yeah,
That's
so
how animals get killed.
she'll take out a piece of jerky and throw it over the bear to, like, kind of go past the camp.
Okay.
but also to whoosh, to make that sound over the bear to get their attention. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you lob this bit of jerky, this bit of dried meat. It flies to the other side of the camp, lands just on the outskirts of the camp, and the bird has a plods kind of over to it, prods at the meat, and then turns around, looking around, stands up on its hind legs, doing that very bear thing where its front legs come up like this, and looks around.
Knowing that that did not work, I will then pop out of my hiding place and scream as loud as I can.
Okay, so it's as you pop out doing the thing you're meant to do, you know, as they say with bears, if it's black, you fight back. You know,
Yeah.
you make yourself big, you make noise. As you do that, and you've probably done this a bunch of times, Dalish, you know, try and lure the bear off, if not, scare it off.
Mm-hmm.
Black bears 100% of the time are going to turn and run if you scare them enough, if you make a big enough noise. But as you do that and this one looks at you, it does something very strange, where it tilts its head. And then just comes back down onto all fours. It's at this point you'll notice the yellow eyes. The Dalish have many legends about shapeshifters, about those who can conduct magics to wrap themselves in the clothes of nature. That kind of magic is usually kept to like a keeper's level of magic, but there are some stories about mages, spellcasters, witches who take to the wilds and learn from the wilds themselves. The yellow eyes, as far as Dalish legends will tell, is those who are touched by the wilds. So that you can get you don't know exactly what it is, but you get the feeling this is not a normal black bear. As it beams directly into your eyes before it turns and just walks back into the forest. Nothing disturbed, nothing ripped open. As it disappears into the woods, there's this faint kind of cracking sound, and it's almost like it goes into the tree line, and then as it moves off, it kind of disappears into the branches and such. And then a couple of seconds later, in the direction you're facing, you just see a cat hop up onto a branch and make its way away.
What? Tira is just like in awe, just. Why were you in my cap? Why? And then she's gonna start like digging around and trying to figure out why they were there.
Smokey the Bear making sure we prevent forest fires. You guys left your fire unattended, so now everybody roll roll for Smokey the Bear to not come get you while you sleep.
Not again.
New fear unlocked.
It's Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's actually just Smokey the Bear.
I was gonna say it was the Duolingo owl, but in Smokey the Bear form.
I think they would make a killing if they made a Five Nights at Freddy's mod where it was Smokey the Bowl. Smokey the Bowl?
Smokey the Bear and the
Smokey
Duolingo
the Bear
owl?
and the Duolingo Owl just chasing you. One chasing you during the day because don't go to sleep without putting out the fire and whatnot. One chasing you at night saying that, and one chasing you during the day going, you haven't done your Gaelic lesson today! Woo! Woo! Beating you to death with an English to French dictionary.
Smokey the Bear is what they make my favorite whiskey in.
He's a cryptid. I'm 100% convinced that Smokey the Bear is a cryptid. Vesa and Meryl can arrive a handful of seconds after this bear disappears from the camp. And you can just see Tura kind of like What? What's going on?
What?
Just muttering to himself.
It's okay. The humans aren't going to follow us.
No, there's a shifter, a bear, and then it was a cat, and then it was but it was a bear, and then it was a cat, and then but it was a bear, and it was in here, and I threw the jerky, and the jerky didn't do anything, and then it just stood up, so I screamed at it, you know how you do, and then it didn't even do anything from there. It just looked at me sideways and gave me a little right scare, and then it just popped off and turned into a cat.
I was gonna walk over to the jerky and return it to Tira.
Please don't eat any more of the mushrooms we find in the forest.
But it was a bear and it was a
the
cat.
bear,
And
the bear.
golden eyes. Golden eyes.
Golden eyes.
Yeah, she specifically says that to Bessa. Golden eyes. Bear with golden eyes. Then it was a cat.
I wonder why they're watching us.
I don't know. They were in the camp and they didn't go through anything. Nothing's missing. Nothing's empty. I checked. Trust me, I checked.
Which way did the cat bear go?
Bear, cat, back, cat, bear, went that way.
Points
much
towards
bear could a cat
points
bear?
towards the south.
Meryl starts walking in that direction.
I also start walking in that direction.
No, we're not
Okay.
supposed to... Oh, god damn. Follow.
Poor Tira.
So you guys start making your way just south, walking for maybe about 10, 15 minutes through this forest. You're nowhere near going out of the kind of realms of the coastlands. You're still in the coastlands area. Very much so in that area. Before a voice will call out. Where it calls out from, you don't see. But a voice will say, "Is there a reason that you're following me?"
Are you the bear, cat, bear?
I have certainly at some point in my life been a bear and a cat and many, many more, but I would not say that I am specifically one or the other.
But you're not a bear, cat. Or a bear.
I'm also not a
or
cat bear. I'm also not a cat or a bear.
But were you today?
I've been many things today. One of them, or two of them, being perhaps a cat or a bear.
Is there a reason you were watching our camp?
Were it I that were watching your camp, I would argue it was not watching, simple curiosity.
Curiosity about what?
Why 3 travelers would be camped so close to a main traversal road, but also so far from any interactive distance? Were it my choice, my camp would have been deeper rooted, further from the road. But yours was almost teasingly close, as if to present the guise of wanting distance, but also leave scope for invitation. An invitation I accepted, however theoretical or hypothetical that invitation may be.
Were it I would have set up camp further into the woods. However, it was not my decision.
So the folly is another's, as is usually the case. I
So
would
were
warn
you
you-
the bear?
I can see that this is doing laps in your mind and causing you undue stress, so allow me to assuage any fears brought on by your obvious lack of grasp of the situation. 'Twas I who was indeed the bear, and 'twas I who was indeed the cat. However, I have never in my life been a bear, bear, cat, cat, bear, cat, or cat, bear.
My head hurts.
I must ask of you, was your curiosity sated?
'Twas. And curiosity has given way to simple, dreary boredom.
Tira's gonna place her hands on her hips and be like, "That was quite rude."
'Twas not intended to be. Simply the truth.
I gave you a right show. I literally screamed at you out of nowhere.
Which some would say is also quite rude in and of itself.
To be fair, I came upon you sniffing or shite, so there's that.
Is it common practice where you come from that instead of simply trying to converse with someone in your home, you would instead stand and scream? I am not an expert in the Dalish ways, but I do not expect them to be quite so loud.
Well,
You
that's
did give
where you're wrong.
quite a rousing attempt, though.
I feel that I have been defeated in this conversation.
It's not a defeat if you come in with very little hope of coming out in victory. For now, I will warn you, do not follow. Mother does not like to be disturbed.
So here's the predicament I think that we're going to find ourselves in. We were told that we could only go hunting to the south of our encampment. Is that going to be a problem?
Not if you hunt within... Not if you hunt after the next hour. Mother has business in these areas, and her voice is going to take on a very knowing tone at this point. Remind me, Tura, where did your clan mostly roam?
Not far from Tevinter.
Okay, so
Which is how
yours is a Tevinter-based clan, which will end up here. So then that would mean, as far as I'm aware, the only Ferelden-based Dalish clan member would be yourself, Vesa. And I'm speaking specifically to someone who has grown up Dalish, is what I'm meaning here. Because, Merrill, I know yours, the one that we've sailed on for you, jumps between Orlais and Ferelden. But Vesa, you're from the same... you're from...
So Vessa's from Ilarion, which is based in Navarra, and then they transferred
but you
Geralt
transferred
to
to... Yeah.
Ferelden.
So that's what I'm saying. But you have grown up with the legends, and you would have been within a clan that's Ferelden centered. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we have at least had contact with Ferelden clans to hear stories. So
that's absolutely fine. So in that case, what I'm going to say then is it would only really be yourself, Vesa, would have a hope of knowing this. But she's going to say as long as, the usual thing she said there, not within the next hour, but after an hour, you'll be fine. And she's going to say, Asha Belena does not like to be disturbed.
Sorry, Abby's freaking out.
Right. Okay. So we'll wait an hour.
We would not dream of disturbing Asha Belinar.
And she's going to say, my, it appears this one is your saving grace.
Guys, they think I'm in love.
And then...
If it's who I think it is, I definitely am.
The sound of, moving in the branches above as this voice stops its conversation and very, very audibly moves away. I knew I would never get the cadence of the voice right, but I was like, I can at least get the condescension correct.
Honestly, the cadence was really good.
Yeah,
I just have too masculine a voice to pull off that voice. But I was like, I can nail the condescension in it.
I just love her.
I'm lining up things. I'm dotting I's. I'm crossing T's.
That was fun. That was good conversation. That was great. Good talk. Good talk. Good talk.
Would you guys like to do anything else here? Or are you wanting to make your way back to camp?
Oh, the temptation to follow is so heavy.
You will die.
Marrow's gonna reach into her bag and pull out a second journal and just crouch down and just start taking notes on that whole entire interaction. Just crouched on the ground.
Don't forget to write the bear, cat, back, cat, bear, cat.
There's a bat involved in it now. It's went bear, cat, and now there's a bat.
Bear, cat, bat.
She'll hold it up to show that she has, in fact, written that down. It keeps going.
Wonderful.
It does feel very like how much bear could a bear cat if a bear cat could cat.
Yep.
Bear cat could cat bear.
The only fixer-upper fixer who could fix a fixer-upper.
Bear
cat, bear, bat cat!
It really is! He kind of is like a cat, and he's got the ears of a bat! Bat cat!
He's aggressive as fuck like a bear.
He really is.
Yeah.
Vesa, you seem to recognize the name that was just produced.
Abby is having to refresh her memory on the specifics of Asha Belinar.
So Asha Belinar is... Oh god. No, I've completely forgotten it. I promise I know about Dragon Age.
Who it is, but I forget what she is to the Dalish to get that name.
Okay, so Asha Belinar is... Asha Belinar in Elvish means woman of many years.
Yes.
To the Dalish, as far as I am aware, and I could be getting this mixed up because there's a lot on Asha Belinar. There's a lot on Flemeth. But Asha Belinar to the Dalish is like a spirit of great power, not quite malevolent, not quite benevolent, somewhere in the middle, where the Dalish treat her with great respect, but also with great caution. She's described as such because there are stories of Dalish clans from all over Ferelden bumping into her.
Right.
And they've all kind of like, they've all drawn these kind of same, oh, I saw someone like that, oh, me too, and it's all been
that girl, you know her too?
It's all been put in these multiple centuries of stories where they've just decided this is obviously not someone normal, and the legends of Asha Belinar and her many daughters spread through the wilds.
And my memory is that like she sometimes appears to the Dalish to like help and then peace out.
She has appeared, so it's not a common practice, but she has appeared and either given aid or asked for a job to be done, and then just kind of like, cool, dip, and just dip the fuck out. If Vesa, do you share this?
Yes. Asha Belinar is
the woman of many years. She has been in Dalish legend for probably centuries now. Um, and she often appears to either um, help or help perhaps in our fights against the humans, or she appears to give us a task on her behalf, but it is not wise to cross her.
We
I
can't hear you,
cannot hear
Lucky.
you.
I was muted. I apologize.
Okay.
Um, fair enough. I suppose then I'll leave it be. I trust your judgment on that.
I think there for Vesa, I think there is like a curiosity. Um, and so she does kind of have like a wistful look to the south woods. Just like, oh, but what if? What if I met Asha Belinar? That'd be so cool. And she's like, I don't want to die.
I was gonna
If
head back to
that's
camp now that she's done with her notes.
heading back to camp, Tura heading back to camp, staying here.
Heading back.
Vesa,
I will head back behind those two because I want to like as the Dalish who knows who Asha Belinar is, I want to make sure they go first and they don't turn around.
so you're all going to be able to make it back to camp safely and in one piece,
And not
and
turned into it.
and not turned into newts or put in a pot. And as you arrive back in camp, with it getting kind of into like settling down, doing kind of like basic activities and moving into kind of like the late afternoon, early evening portion, we're going to take our 15-minute break and then we'll have our last hour of Firelight RP and see where it goes from there. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you after our break. Hello, folks. We are back for part 2 of our little session today. Now, when we left off, we'd returned back to camp after dealing with this voice from the trees, giving a warning not to travel south to hunt for the next hour or so in order to avoid the wrath of this figure, Asha Belinar. And so, you guys make your way back to camp. Would you go hunting, or would you rely on your rations at this point, as Warden Constable Osric does not return by nightfall?
What time of day did we go back after interacting with Bearcat? What time of day was that? How long have we been at the fire since?
Oh, since then, it's a good few hours.
Okay.
Good few hours.
I think after like 2 hours. After that, so it's an hour to, hour grace for Asha Belinar, and then another hour of just waiting around. I think Vesa would have gone hunting. She would have been like, all right, I'm bored.
Is anybody going with Vesa hunting? Or are the mages leaving it to the hunter?
Meryl knows she'll get in the way, so she just tries to stay out of people's way as much as she can.
Tira's also going to hang back.
Okay.
Oh no, that means there might be a conversation. Meryl can't do it.
Oh no, you
Meryl,
might have to talk.
Meryl's like, I'm going to be here alone. It's going to be great. Oh no.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Vesa first. Vesa, you are hunting. Okay, then what I'd like you to do is make me a perception tracking check, please.
Okay.
Let's see if you can find any tracks.
Could I perhaps make an argument, since I picked up searching before, that I could use that instead?
I will allow you to use searching for the initial one. You're searching for tracks to track.
That works for me. I want to use that bonus since I have it.
Might as well win in room.
Ooh, stunt points.
More stunt points!
I got 6 stunt points.
Motherfucker. I would like to be on top of this deer now, just sitting on it, ready to kill.
10, 14, plus... That's a total of 18, just for kicks and giggles.
Total of 18, so on an 18, it's not long before you find very evident tracks.
And I would also like to do it with speedy search for 2 stunt points, leaving me 4 left over so that I can do it quickly in half the time it would take otherwise.
Fantastic. So in less than 5 minutes, you find quite substantial marks of a herd. Any other stunt points you would like to use?
I'm gonna use the 4 left to repeat resources at hand to get tracking this time.
Fantastic. So you use resources at hand, and now you can get. And this is how you rig the game in your favor, folks. Yeah. So in that case, you can now make your tracking check to follow this herd. Go ahead.
I got 2 more stunt points.
2 more stunt points with this tracking. Which stunt points would you like to do?
I'm gonna use speedy search again because it's 2 points and it is half the time. My total is 4, 5 plus another 4, 9. But it's still done in half the time, so.
So what I'm going to say on this one is, as you're tracking this creature, it takes you as you're tracking these creatures, it takes you a bit deeper into the woods, but it's at the point where eventually, as you get further and further into them, it becomes incredibly dark. Woods around by you are fairly For a Dalish, they're kind of calm. But you can hear ravens cawing, you can hear birds in the trees, and you can hear animals moving around. But you as a Dalish rely on more than sight to track. Despite it being dark and despite the hindrance to your vision, you can still smell. You can still use your hands to feel there's a broken branch, it's bent this way, they're moving this way. And you're able to move through. Eventually you do have to kind of, start looking for gaps in the trees to see moonlight coming through and stuff as it goes into early evening. We're not talking pitch black, we're talking like twilight, but with the canopy of the trees it makes it a lot more difficult to see. But you can eventually come upon a clearing. In this clearing, you can see that there are a few of these deer around, and you can see the one that it's obviously been leading to most of your tracking. Very large buck, right in the middle of them, huge set of antlers, with its head kind of on a swivel. There's a couple of deer on the outskirts. As a Dalish, shooting into a herd of deer, if you hit one, the rest of them are probably going to scarper. But you can see them quite clearly. So what would you like to do?
Could I make a slight amendment to this layout?
I'd be open to hearing one.
Could I be hunting, like, rabbits or something instead?
Hunting small game?
Since the Hala are sacred.
Okay, so I understand what you're asking. I do. Dalish make a very, very firm definition and difference between Hala and deer.
Okay.
So I understand where you're going with that. They're quite similar, don't want to do that. The Dalish do not view them to be in the same league as each other.
I'm with you now. Okay.
Okay?
Then that's fine.
So if you would still like to change it, I'm happy to, for your own personal sake. But if it's because of antlers and being very similar, Dalish hunt deer very, very actively.
Yeah, I thought you had said Hala before, so I was like, wait a minute.
No. Definitely
fine.
deer.
Deer's fine.
Definitely deer.
Okay, never mind. Cool.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, if I feel I have a clear shot, I will shoot. I will loose, if you will.
Okay. So, you're taking a major action to fire, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is...
But I am going to go ahead and use a minor action to aim. So I get a little +1.
So you got a +1 on this. So minor action, you pull back, you aim, and then you're firing. So you got a +1 on the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Roll your attack. Let's see if you hit the deer.
Eleven.
11.
Wait, hang on. I also have focus and bows, which adds 2. So, 13.
13 is most definitely going to hit. If you could roll your damage now for the bow.
Absolutely. Nope. 7. 2 plus 3 plus 2. Yes, 7.
7. Okay. So the arrow strikes true through the ribs, but it just misses the heart. It is a kill shot. You know this is a Dalish, but it's not an instant kill shot. The deer all scarper in multiple directions. This particular one is moving a bit slower, obviously. It's your choice as a Dalish whether you want to lackadaisically follow. It's going to be dead within a matter of, half a minute anyway, or you can follow quickly and intend to quick kill.
I would prefer to quick kill.
Cool, awesome.
Per the lessons of Andrul.
Of course, I was about to say, I do remember you said that you have not the Valison, but if you were to, you would be pursuing the teachings of Andrul. So you immediately pick up bow, start pelting after this thing. You catch up to it within 10 seconds. It is very weak. You're able to very quickly jump, and we say no more than that. It is very quickly put at peace. It's as that happens, though, and it's very much in the sense of, like, you know, the very, very common practice of hand over the mouth, so that there's no kind of sound that gives way to your position and such. And as you start to go about dressing and cleaning in order to take back to camp, that you are, I'm not going to make you roll for it, you're going to hear something. Very evidently not Dalish. You're in deep forest. You can tell the sound of heavy footfall. You're very good at discerning the sound of Shemlin armour.
Mm.
And the moment you hear that looking up, you would see torchlight through the forest.
How close?
Close enough that you can tell that they are Shemlin trying to be quiet, far away enough that you could get closer, and because of your natural advantageous position within a forest, you would probably not be seen unless these are expert hunters. But
Then
this sounds like a good mob of like maybe 15, 20 people. Heavy armoured, you can hear the sound of chain rattling as they move and such, and, you know, cursing every now and again as they step in a patch of mud and all that jazz.
Then if they are far enough away that I can lie low and wait for them to pass, that is what I shall do.
So you're choosing not to move closer, you're choosing to just lie down, wait for them to pass?
Yeah, if there is, like, you know, again, a shrubbery I can slide into, maybe, like, kind of pull the deer with me so that it's not seen and scavenged, I would like to hide in a shrub. Just in case. But I'm not gonna get closer.
Okay, just bear with me to note that down.
No problem.
Okay. Fantastic. They move past very easily. You're far enough away that they have no hope of seeing you. And as soon as they get a good 50, 60 yards away from you, you can pop up and start making your way back with this buck, which has been, you know, dressed and cleaned at this point. As your fallen teachers of Andriel, very standard practice. Innards and such are buried. Respect given, all that jazz, and you're able to take the buck back with you. You'll move at half your speed because you're dragging a buck, but but you are able to make it back without being, you know, bothered. So there's no other sounds of anything there.
If you need to know that speed, it is rounded down 7 yards.
Okay, so roughly about 21 feet. 21 feet per movement. Half your movement speed, still moving just a little bit slower than most D&D races. Casual. Love it. Okay, while this hunting is going on, this is going to be about, you know, 5 minutes to find. After the tracking, about 10 minutes. Dressing and cleaning, probably talking about another 15 minutes if you're just doing the basics. Maybe 15, 20 minutes. As a Dalish, I'd say probably closer to 15. So you're talking about maybe 45 minutes that you're out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go back to the camp at this point. For that 45 minutes where Vesa is absent. Meryl, Tura, what are you guys doing?
Drawing Meryl.
You're drawing Meryl. Okay.
Because she's not engaging in conversation, so she's just going to draw her.
That is so valid and so fair because you will get one word answers only from Meryl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think what would Meryl be doing?
I was just about to say, if that's what Tira's doing, what's Meryl doing?
She's probably undoing all her braids because she's getting ready to go to bed. So I mean, she's got like crown braids and like waterfall braids and fishtails and all that stuff. Like she has like super complex braids, so she's just slowly um taking those out probably.
Okay. So with your hair being caught being braided fairly often, when you take it all out, your hair's probably got like that wave-like kink structure where it becomes almost like kind of like sloped triangle shaped.
Yep.
Because I get it. So my hair's naturally got a bit of a wave to it, but it's mostly straight. But when I braid all of my hair and then I take it out, my hair's like.
Yep.
So.
Yep, and she definitely would because she has naturally wavy hair on top of the braids.
So, as this is all taken out and your hair volume increases by like 4 times, they keep having to rub out the drawing they've made and make the hair bigger, then rub it out and make the hair bigger. Is there what is there, I have to very quickly double check. There's a lot of different things that you can do in Dragon Age. Is there a check to be made for drawing? Let's see how good you are at this.
I assume it's a dex one.
I would hope.
I mean,
technically,
so you have a few options. You could go very, very loosely and go calligraphy. Because it does specifically say brushwork. Doesn't say anything in perception. Let's see. Is there? I think the closest you're going to get is actually very, very, very close to D&D. It's probably going to be a performance. So communication performance check.
Interesting.
Oh. Okay. I got a big number and I got 6 stunt points.
Fantastic.
I don't know what I'm going to use the stunt points on. Is with a flourish is a stunt I can use, can't I?
With a flourish, I do believe is, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that because fancy. So 6 plus 6 plus 5. Okay, well, I'm not going to use any of the other ones because I don't need to do it fast. But 6 plus 6 plus 5 is 17 minus
17.
1 minus 1 is a whopping 16.
This is as close to a photograph as you can get. With the, I mean, at this point, you're probably not moving with, like, you know, paints and such. You probably get charcoal. That's probably about it. This is as close to a photograph as you can get with just having charcoal. Even the smudging from, like, erasing the hair and having to draw it back in just looks like you've created shadow. You're very, very good at artwork. You're very, very good, and it shows very much in how you've done this. And with a flourish, even the lines that have been like, you know, oh, that maybe wasn't quite correct, the way you've been able to smudge them just makes it look like the firelight dancing across Meryl's features. Exquisitely done. Artwork is phenomenal. If you had paints, you could do better. If you had access to oils and such that anybody with that makes a portrait, you could probably do better. But for what you have available, this is a veritable masterpiece.
I keep it to myself.
When it's a drawing, it's that's cute. If it was a photograph, it'd be like, that's fucking weird.
Right. Right. The difference is real.
And this one is fucking very real. It's like the drawing. Oh, Titanic picture. 1 hour photograph.
Nasty. Yeah, no, I think that's all I do. I think
That's all
that'll
you're
take
doing,
up
okay?
all of my time.
So while Meryl is being drawn like one of Tura's French girls, Meryl, what are you doing?
I mean, she would do that. She might sit around and kind of play around with like her magic a little bit. Just like quietly mumbling like little spells and just like doing little sparks around her hands. Nothing crazy.
Nothing mad and wild. That's absolutely fine. Um. Okay. Make me a. What would? What would? What would? What would? What indeed would? What would? Verily. Focuses. Let's see here. Let's go to magic. Any particular kind of effect you're trying to create?
Um, no, because I think her magic very much manifests how she views herself. So even if she tried to do something different, I think it would just turn out the same. And it's
Okay.
often like just like thorns and briars that the
Okay,
magic
so in
kind of
that
forms
case,
into.
just make me a straight up magic check.
Okay. Magic check. Okay. Oh, my luck for good rolls. I ran out. Let's see. So it's 11 total.
11 total. So you're just kind of like playing around with, little. Essentially, the comparison I would give you, Jess, would be like, like prestidigitation, little wee effects and stuff like that. You're just creating like little kind of like leaves and brambles and stuff that float and whirl around you in the air. Maybe drawing like in the dirt with your finger, like little thorns and such, and they actually like kind of appear and manifest a little bit before shrinking back away. Just little standard practices of magic.
Yep.
Tura, you can see this. It's very easy to see.
Just give you the Elmo stare.
At some point, Meryl will probably like lay down with her back to Tira. And very quietly, but Tira would probably be able to hear it. Meryl's seemingly talking to herself. She's got her journal right up by her head, and just talking very quietly.
Tura, are you trying to hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a bad person.
So that's going to be, if you're trying to be stealthy about it, I'm going to need a stealth check first. If you're just leaning in, trying to hear, then it would just be a hearing check. So that would be perception hearing.
You know what? For the fun of it, I'm gonna just lean in and try and hear. I'm not gonna try and be stealthy about it.
Okay, so in that case, I will allow them to make the perception check to see if they can feel that they're being listened to, but it will be on my target number, not contesting yours. Okay?
Okay.
So if you can make your hearing check, please.
12 on mine.
Yeah, I did not do well. I got a 7.
Okay, I'm sorry, that does not meet the target number that I had
That is
planned
so
for this.
fair.
So, Tura, you lean in. What if you have the exact wordage? Please let us know. If you don't, just give us the vague principles of what Meryl is saying. As Tura is a nosy bastard.
I mean, the gist that you get, it sounds so you get the feeling that Meryl is not actually talking to herself. She is acting like she is talking to someone. And she's basically recounting what happened in the day, how she felt about it, which is mostly just like neutral feelings. And like at some point she'll like pause and be like, I need advice, and she'll like flip open to a page and like read for a second, then close it, and then just keep going on about the day. And eventually when she finishes to this point, then she seems to just get ready to go to sleep. So yeah, she's
I think Tira will just step away and be back.
Okay.
Meryl's a little weirdo.
Meryl, we didn't eat dinner, you know. You might want to wait until after that to get ready for bed.
just gonna shrug. Their backs
Okay.
to Tira.
Just yeah, all right, that's fair.
About 5 minutes or so after this. Actually, nah, not 5. Maybe closer to like 15 minutes after this. Vesa can return dragging an entire dressed and cleaned buck behind her.
Anyone want dinner?
Yes, very much. Meryl seems to be indifferent about the subject of dinner, but I am not.
Is Meryl asleep at this point?
No, but she would have her eyes closed so that people wouldn't be able to tell that she's awake.
It's Meryl's turn to be nosy now. Cool, got you. Gotcha. So at this point, it's very, very, very common practice for Dalish. Not going to make you roll to cut bits of meat off to cook. Like, it's very easy. There is meat. Cut, stick, on fire. So you guys start to eat the food you have. You also have like bread and cheese and stuff like that that is been bought from like, you know, merchants you meet along the road, or when Osric's went into town and he comes back with some supplies and such.
Venison sandwiches.
Yes.
Venison sandwich, right? And you like cut the bread into squares and you get the cheese on it, then you like put 2 sticks on top of it and you twist it and turn it so the cheese goes all good. Sorry. I'm getting really hungry.
I'm with you.
We love it. We love that.
It's probably like a hard, like, you know.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
It's
like a hard cheese,
like,
so it's like really
yeah.
good melty.
Oh yeah. We're talking like a Gouda, like.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love Gouda.
I would have said Stilton because that's my favourite cheese, but I know not a lot of people like blue cheese, so.
I mean, I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like it. It's fine.
I could get like a chunk of blue cheese and just all day, 100%.
I had a lemon ricotta from Trader Joe's the other day, and I like ate the whole block in one sitting. It was really, really yummy.
I just learned how to make my own mozzarella. Is it a lactose thing?
No, I'm allergic.
Are you allergic to all cheese?
All dairy.
All dairy. You can eat Parmigiano. You can eat Parmigiano. There is no lactose. There's no nothing in Parmigiano Reggiano.
Does it come from a cow?
Yeah, but the things that people are allergic to when it comes to dairy are not present in Parmigiano Reggiano.
I'm allergic to all animal, like anything that comes from like the cow, that isn't the meat for some reason.
I have a friend that has the exact same issue, so yeah, I don't think she can.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Because my buddy's allergic to dairy products, and he can eat Parmesan because
I can eat it. I will die.
I mean, I'm not saying to you go and do it right now. I'm not saying like, you know, prove it.
I'm on it.
But I have a friend who's allergic to dairy products, and he's like, you know, milk, even like you know, those like, you know, low dairy cheese and stuff like that. He can't touch them, but he can eat Parmesan because the way it's made, the dairy's all taken out of it.
Maybe.
Oh, interesting.
But I mean, I'm not saying go try it.
Doctor.
I'm not saying go try it or shit like that, right?
I will
something
talk
my
to
friend
my
does.
doctor, and that is all. That is
Yeah,
all. I will.
I'll ask my friend if it works for her, just for data.
Yeah.
See if it turns out that you can eat
date.
Parmesan, and I've just opened you up to like, I can eat cheese.
I would be so happy because fake cheese is terrible.
Well, I was vegan for 8 months, and I'm gonna say this right now. The worst part of being vegan was the fucking cheese. It doesn't melt.
The new
That
ones
part.
do. The new ones do. I got one that does. I made nachos with it yesterday.
Yeah,
Now,
okay,
I did
does
have a
it taste?
cashew
Does it
mozzarella
taste
that was
like?
good one time. That was
Sorry,
good.
sorry to derail the conversation. We
No,
were
it's
talking about
absolutely fine.
cheese,
It's
and I was
absolutely
like, I miss it so much.
Dragon ADHD. That's what this game is.
ADHD game.
HDHD. Tracking HDHD.
I got 80 of them. bitches.
Exactly.
I don't know what HD is, but the doctor just called me and told me I got 80 of them bitches. Woo!
That's a mood, though.
That was my first ever TikTok video I did with Faulkner, my pirate NPC. Was just
Yes,
him
Faulkner.
pulling off his hat, slamming it on the ground, taking his sword out and going, woo! Anyway, sorry, back into this. So as you're cooking food, you're making food, Meryl, you smell the smell of toasting bread, cooking venison, and hard cheeses. Does that rouse you from your fake sleep, or are you still, no, I will not socialize?
She might reach for her bag and pull it closer and pull something out of her bag, like some dried fruit or something, but she is determined to not socialize. She's like, I have had to people all day. I had to give more than 4 words. I had to say more than 4 words today. That's more than I've said in my life. I can't do it anymore. Yeah. She's just a little guy. She's just a little guy.
So Vesa and Tira, while food is being made and prepared, once it's prepared, all that kind of stuff, until you guys choose to get some sleep, which is the Dragon Age version of saying take a long rest. Is there anything you guys talk about, discuss while you're...
Because Tira thinks Meryl is asleep, she will turn to Vesa and be like, I sort of lied to you earlier about, the reason that I got my marks.
If you don't want to tell me, you don't have to.
I didn't earn them in a traditional fashion.
What do you mean?
I got my marks after leaving Tevinter. For helping people leave Tevinter.
That's remarkable. So many of our people have been lost to Tevinter.
I know that you say that, but some Dales wouldn't agree that that's worth marks. So I tend to just keep that to myself, but I figure we're signing up to go fight Darkspawn and shite, so who better to tell?
I'm glad you told me, and I think you're very brave.
I just didn't want to say anything in front of Meryl. She's human, after all.
Yes, it's tough being an elf in a human world.
To say the least. But at least we're not alone. You know?
I also didn't tell you something earlier.
Alright.
The reason I was recruited to the Grey Wardens is because I was on my hunt to earn my Valasleen. And human poachers came into our woods, and they would have killed me if it hadn't been for Osric.
So sort of a life debt sort of thing.
Sort of. And the only thing is that I wasn't able to tell my clan where I was going. So I don't know if they're looking for me. I don't know if they've moved on.
Well, I think that they'd probably be looking for you. It's not like you're, a forgettable face. You're a good person. I think that they know that and would be on the look for you.
I hope they don't look too long.
Who knows? Maybe we'll bump into him at some point, and you can tell him to stop looking. I'm right here. You know.
If we make it that far north again.
One day, hopefully, maybe, if there's any luck.
I don't think we're having a lot of luck right now.
Was it the shifter, the horse that you repaired, or the Meryl falling asleep before dinner could even get cooked that was your hint on bad luck?
I think it's the impending darkspawn apocalypse.
Oh, it's not going to be that bad. The entire Grey Wardens are going to be there. Literally all of them. What could go wrong?
Smash cut.
Quick flash forward to Ostagar. Ah! This flashback.
Yeah, you're right. What could go wrong? It'll probably be fine.
Quick flash forward to King Kalen getting crushed by an ogre. Quick flash forward to everybody that's played Origins just going,
Oh my god.
It went so wrong!
and nothing can go wrong. Oh my god, it all went wrong! If you had to describe the Dragon Age games in TikTok sounds, that is 100% Origins.
Sums it up. Sums it up.
And 2. It's also 2.
No, I think the more accurate one for 2 is like, I was over on the bench, and I was over on the bench, and I was over on the bench. Because Hawk's just like, I just want to be here, and shit just keeps happening around him, and he's like, I don't know what to do. No protagonist from any game got a harder fucking run through the world than Hawk. Alright? Everything good that happened to him came with 5 shit things.
And Hawk always says something like, "It's always Hawk to the rescue. Oh, no one can do anything without me," or some variations on that sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, nothing in the world got fixed until Hawk went, well, I guess I'm doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking go. Team Hawk. All the way.
Yeah.
Garrett Hawk, you absolute legend. You deserved more from this world. I'm sorry your only decent sibling died and your other sibling was a dick.
Carver Defender right here. I like that boy.
I do like Carver. He's still a dick. He's still a whiny dick. I like him. I think he's a great character. And if you can be a mage and somehow get him on your side, it's great. He's still a whiny dick. Just such a whiny guy. Anyway. Do you guys decide to go to sleep, or are you guys pulling an all-nighter?
Oh, Tira's pulling an all-nighter. She's too nervous.
Okay, pulling an all-nighter.
I will stay up with Tira for a little bit longer, but then I will probably go to sleep.
Okay.
Give it like
Tira.
an hour to make sure nothing's gonna happen, and then be like, okay, I think we're good. Snoozle.
Okay, fantastic. Then, Tira, you're by yourself. Sitting up while everybody else sleeps after eating. Meryl, I'm assuming at some point you will fall asleep rather than just pretending to be asleep?
Yeah, she'll stay up a while, but I think eventually just like out of staying in a laying position, she'll eventually fall asleep despite herself.
Okay, so let me ask the question. So you're staying up till, you hear them talking, you hear them eating, you hear Vesa settle down to go to sleep, and then the soft sounds of, REM sleep breathing kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you fall asleep before that, or are you falling asleep after Vesa's falling asleep?
How about I roll for it? I don't know what I would
Cool.
roll for that, but
Give me let's call it a, what will we call it?
Constitution?
It's going to be a Constitution stamina.
Okay. I don't have focus and stamina, unfortunately.
Then it's just a Constitution. Which rolls like
that's-
three sixes, all the stunt points. Like, let's go for this. I
just
am
have
awake.
to sleep in rolls with Constitution. See what people's like sleep habits are. Are they late risers, early risers? So I'll do a Constitution check for that. It's always fun.
Let's see. That is a total of 13.
Okay, on a 13,
I
I'd
roll
say
well
that.
on a useless check.
So I'm going to now roll 3d6.
Okay.
And judging on the result of this, I will determine if you're awake for what's going to happen or not. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, yay!
And Tyr gets murdered.
Kidnapped times 2.
Hooray.
Meryl, you are awake.
Oh, okay.
You hear this, Tira and Meryl, you will both hear the sound of soft footsteps coming towards the camp, coming from the south.
Take out my lovely staff.
Okay. You reach for your staff. And what steps out into the firelight is a cloaked figure. Huddled over, long cloak, and they kind of pull the hood down to reveal long mess of kind of, dirty grey hair. And they're just like, "Peace, child, I don't mean harm. I'm simply an old woman seeking to warm her bones before journeying on."
Can I make an empathy check to see if they're lying?
I'd say yeah. If you're trying to see if they're lying, that would be less empathy and more insight.
Yep. Okay.
Or well, I mean, I guess let me have a quick read over both of them. I do think it would be an insight, but I'll definitely
That's
have
fine.
a look and see if it makes more sense. So when we go to it's not communication, it's in perception, empathy, discerning feelings and emotions. Whereas if we go to, I believe it's in cunning is the insight.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's not. Ooh, where is it? Oh. Where is the insight? I don't see where insight is.
There is no insight.
Where did I think?
I was going to say, I think empathy is the instead of insight.
I think it is too.
That's my understanding.
That's what I thought, but because it's like reading emotions and.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just have a wee quick look over because I was sure there was something. About it. I might very well have been wrong, but please just give me just a little second.
Yep. No worries.
No, you're totally good.
There's just an old woman that I don't
in
trust.
my other campaign, we don't trust old people.
I don't trust the elderly.
Or gingers.
Or
Yep.
Or
Or
gingers.
Those are the two in the other campaign with Brad. We don't trust old people or gingers. And we waterboard all our friends.
Very specifically old men. And if you find a magic item and it talks to you, you have to waterboard it in holy water just in case. It's very correct. There is no insight, which I was really sure there was for some reason. But absolutely, in that case, we will use empathy.
I don't know if he's frozen for you, but Wacky's frozen for me.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason is in fact frozen,
Okay.
which
Can I
means they
roll empathy?
automatically fail. I will let you roll empathy, but you'll be going in a significantly higher target number because
Yeah.
you're
I'm
going
laying
based
down.
on tone of voice. Ah, they died.
Oh no!
So they're dead.
I probably didn't get it. That's a flat 10.
Flat 10 is not going to be enough, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Not with the perceptive capabilities you have available to you.
Yeah.
You can't see me, but you can see both of you, so it's fine. Is Jason coming back? Are you coming back?
Oh, keep typing. Internet just went down. They have some serious snow.
Oh, boo.
Oh. Okie dokie.
Well, that's the answer to that question.
Let's see, they're typing again.
Yeah. Wonder, can I do hotspot on their phone?
See if they're coming back. If not, I'll just continue, or I'll just put a pause on it right there, and then I'll send them the information, or I'll tell you guys the information that gets spoken about and send it to them.
I will say Meryl probably would have sat up at that point. She would have like been listening, and then she would have sat up, like the little creep she is. Just all of a sudden, just like rising up,
rising from the dead.
Pretty much.
So they're saying that they're going to try and hotspot.
Okay.
So if you're sitting up at this point, this person will turn to you, and they will kind of voice along the lines of, I'm going to move like this just so I can be seen. They will voice along the lines of, apologies, child, I didn't mean to rouse you from your sleep. Although one would question if you were truly asleep, if you were so easily roused by the shuffling steps of an old woman. And she gives you quite a knowing look.
Shrugs in response.
And she will say, no response, which is in itself a response.
Again.
She will gesture to a seat by the fire, asking if she can sit.
Meryl will scoot so that her body will be in between this woman and Vesa, wherever the woman sits down, just because Vesa's in the most vulnerable position. But she would allow it. She'd have her staff like across her lap, just ready in case.
The old woman will sit down and she will say, two mages wandering by a road with a third potential. Something tells me a great...
And she will kind of nod towards Vesa.
Right, okay. This old lady will smile and say, so, two mages and a delightfully simple escort. What brings you so close to a settlement riddled with Templars? Some would say that's risky.
We're out of Templar jurisdiction.
She will smile and say, a fun thing, jurisdiction. Something set in ordinances, but yet very rarely obeyed. What's to stop Templars from dragging you back into their jurisdiction?
Anywhere we're not in their jurisdiction.
Spoken with confidence that is not truly represented in action. Otherwise, why hide?
I don't believe we're hiding. We're camping.
She just chuckles at that and goes right back to, taking her hands out from her cloak and just putting them out to the front. Warms them, rubs them a little bit. Warms them again. And then she's going to reach to her side and pull out something and put it next to the fire. It seems to be like a ripped tabard which has blood across it.
Are there any like symbols on it?
There are indeed. If you would like to, you can make a check to see if you would.
Heraldry, right?
It would be a heraldry check, yes.
I don't have a focus in that. I just remember that's what it's called. Is it cunning? Is that?
I believe it is cunning.
Okay. Roll well. Oh. Hey!
I did it.
He's
I'm so
there!
sorry. I am so sorry. We're having.
Don't worry about
storm
it. It's
call
absolutely
through.
fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I need to swap everybody back round about.
Yeah, I was like, our Twitch got janked.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. A lot of
Absolutely
times that's
fine.
me on the other stream. I'm always messing things up. So.
Is this correct? This is correct, yeah. Okay, cool. So, to give you a recap what's happened, old woman sat down, has pointed out that Meryl has been, has pointed out that she can tell there's two mages. Meryl's like, that one's not a mage, and she's went, so she's simple. Awesome, cool. Then it's been a case of pretty much just everything that Meryl says, she's getting some kind of cryptic answer in response. Now she's put down a ripped tabard with fresh blood on it. And what was your heraldry check there, Jess? Sorry,
13.
Meryl. 13? You vaguely recognise it. You recognise it, but you don't recognise the name attached to it. It is a Ferelden noble house. You know that for sure. It is a 4-squared symbol, so 4 squares in the background. Bottom left and top right are steely white. Top left and bottom right are a kind of faded mustard yellow, and they have a brown bear on the front of them. And this old woman will say, there are soldiers nearby, humans, doing what human soldiers do, plotting, planning, murdering, such frivolous things. I would be careful where you wander, careful where you camp.
Just nods. Like, oh, good morning. Thanks. Just gonna assume that this lady probably killed one of these soldiers, and that's why she's got the tabard.
Very possible. Tara, anything you'd like to say? Do?
I think Tira just observes this interaction.
Okay.
More just anxious.
The woman will then look to you, Tara, and say, quiet one, could an old woman trouble you for some water?
She'll take like a little cupboard and fill it up with water from her water skin.
Okay. And you give it to her?
Yeah.
She will take the water, sip from it, and kind of make a, not quite an ah, but it's like an ah without the mouth open, like a and settles back. And as she looks at you all, intently, then says, not any of you, but tied, strings connected, but woven, or simply always being. But it seems that the more she talks, the more she deviates away from talking to you and more talking to herself about you. You are here with another.
Oh, I'm sorry, was that a question?
If you have to ask, obviously it was.
Then yes, we're here with another.
Perhaps it is the one that will. Perhaps it is the one that won't. Or perhaps it is not relevant. I wonder if you might do a favour for an old woman.
Suppose that we'd be open to doing favors for you?
Your journey will take you south of here. I see this. Should you pass by a village, I would request that you give a note to someone for me, if you would be so kind.
I don't see a problem with passing a note along.
She will smile and she will take out a piece of folded parchment. Looks like a page of like a book torn out. And she'll hand it to you, Tura.
She'll take it.
She will tell you. She doesn't ask you to go there. She says to you when. She doesn't say if. She says when. And she says, when you reach the town of Lothering, there is a woman. You'll know her by her distress over her children. When she clutches her youngest close, give her this.
He nods.
At which point she'll stand up and say, thank you for your hospitality and kindness. And she'll get up and she'll just walk back the way she came, back into the woods. I will say to you two that are watching, when she first came, well, I mean, Meryl, you wouldn't have seen this because you sat up when she was already here. But when she walked in, she was kind of the old lady huddled over. But when she walks away, poker straight, bold as brass.
Gonna just gently touch my markings in thought.
Anything else for you?
No, but that definitely solidifies Tira's all-nighter.
Okay. Meryl, what about you?
Meryl probably, just hearing the warning about the soldier, she'll probably stay up with Tira just to add some protection. She'll have Mind Blast so ready, so if anybody comes, she's gonna blast them. She starts blasting.
I just started blasting!
Blasting. Yep. Let's be ready for that.
Then in that case, we will come to the end of our session. If you guys are remaining awake or falling asleep, it is your choice to do so. As dawn comes up...
remaining asleep.
You're remaining asleep.
You're like,
You're fully rested. Tura, you are like wide. You're like wired awake. Body exhausted, mind awake. Meryl is, somewhere in between. You at least had a bit of relaxation by lying down, but then you had the remnant parts of the wide awake. Did Meryl eventually go to sleep, or...?
Probably not. I think, just that warning about the soldiers, and she knows what the soldiers can do. So she will stay awake.
Then in that case, when dawn comes, and Osric arrives with a hulking figure behind them, a Kunari. I don't actually think... I think most likely Meryl would be the only one who would have seen a Kunari before. They're fairly present around Val Royeaux. You get a lot of... not Talvishoth, but you get a lot of The term Kunari is not correct for them, nor is Talvashov, because they don't follow the Kun, nor do they leave the Kun in anger. They're just simply Kunari who went, I'm a dip. Bye.
Peace.
Whatever the name for the race is, you've definitely seen them around before. Tall, deep grey-skinned, curling horns, and Osric tells you guys that, you know, an hour, pack up, and then you're moving. I will end with asking the question, would you tell Osric of the events that you guys witnessed? So to go in specifics, and we'll do this with most sessions that we do when it comes to like RP and stuff. We're going to go bit by bit. So, would you tell Osric about the disembodied voice in the forest? We'll get one vote for no. Tira's saying no. Meryl?
I don't think she would think it was
No
something
one
that he would be worried
mentions the voice.
This action will have consequences. Butterfly
can't-
symbol in the corner.
This is one of the things that I'm choosing to do in this.
This is a Dragon Age game.
Would anybody inform Osric about the second thing, which was would you? This one would be purely for Vesa. Would you alert Osric to seeing the soldiers in the numbers?
Yeah, I would say.
And would you guys... This one would be to Meryl and Tura. Meryl and Tura, would you tell Osric about the old woman and the tabard that she brought along?
Tira wouldn't.
Meryl?
so hard because Meryl knows if she mentions something, she's gonna have to like explain it in detail, and she doesn't want to have to do that. Probably what she would do in her little weird way, she'd probably like, while everybody's packing, like draw the symbol on the tabard in the dirt. And if Osric notices and asks about it, then she'll explain. But other than that,
let's roll the perception and see if he spots it.
She tries to avoid talking so much. It's like,
okay, I can't remember the
effort she puts
exact
into not
specifications
talking.
of what I gave Osric, but I don't think it's enough. Where are you? Warden Commander Osric. There you are. Let's see your stats. Perception. No, he does not. Absolutely does not. That is a big stinking no. He does not see it, so therefore you do not.
yeah, because I think she would look more to Tira, because Tira's the one with the note.
And Tira would not.
So she'll just scuff out the little drawing of the tavern and just walk after people, keeping it in the back of her mind that maybe it's going to come up.
Then in that case, we will come to the end of our session. As you guys begin your journey with Osric saying, "We've done enough. It's time to head down. We're making our way to Ostagar now." And with that, we will come to the end of session. I'm not going to call it session 2. I'll reword this. This won't be session 2. This will be session 1.5.
Yeah.
But I will give you an after credits scene, guys.
Yes, after credits! I love the after credits scenes!
This is something I do quite often in World Tree Quest, where sometimes, I just fling in a wee after credits scene just to, traumatise you a bit more.
Yeah, it's the
Give me a
best.
treat. Like a honey cake.
Just a little bit of spice.
At some point in your journey south, you're walking across the ridge of the beginnings of crossing a mountain into the southern parts of Ferelden. And someone watches you from one of the high peaks, with a cat sitting next to them. And as she watches, she says, "Fate drags in so many different directions, but does not truly decide which direction we will fall into, simply the one to begin the path." And the cat will kind of like look up and almost eye roll before she says, "Oh, as if you could foresee the events coming any better. What I do know is they will play a part. Not the main part, but important nonetheless." And then she will bend down, she will pick up the cat and turn to walk as if to step off the side of the mountain. I will have you all, for the sake of it, roll a hearing check. No chance you could see this, but potentially hear. Based on your journey.
Oh, we got a 17!
I'll roll for Osric. 17. Tira?
5, 9, 6, no, 15 plus 2, 17.
17. Osric coming in with a... That's 14 there. Does he have modifiers too? I've closed the sheet, haven't I? I have. I closed the sheet. Let me pull up the sheet. Perception... No hearing, so it's just a solid 14. So everybody you will all hear the sound of roaring off in the distance. Something large. Something very, very large. With Osric turning and almost like half drawing the blade, before then almost doing like mental math in his head, and then putting the blade back in and saying, "There's nothing to worry about. It's now Archdemon. Darkspawn aren't close enough." And keeps making his way. And it's almost like it pans back up to the sky where you see that mountain range with the sun blazing behind it. And then from the direction where this old woman stepped off the edge of a cliff holding her cat, from behind the mountain you just see this huge dragon peel out across the sky and start flying south. And that's where we'll end today's session. Thank you so much for everybody that come to see us. Thank you so much to my players for committing to the roleplay today. It was absolutely amazing. Again, we will not be here next week because I'm at PAX U. I might run some Dragon Age games at PAX U just for the shits and giggles of it. So if people are there, like, you should come play some Dragon Age. It's fun. But I've had some emails back and forward, and it's looking like the 14th might actually be possible if all of my cast are available for it. So with that being the case, as far as I'm aware, our other party member Jack has said that he'll be available for the 14th. Depends on you guys. Would you guys be available for the 14th? I know.
Sure would.
TBD for me.
TBD, okay. So TBD, possibly. Maybe another roleplay session with Vesa just off hunting or something like that. But we will see where it goes from there. But thank you for coming to see us today, folks. If you like what you've seen, please do go check out all of our social medias. You can go anywhere and you can just click on World Tree. You can just search for World Tree Quests. You'll find us. Or if you go to our TikTok, we do have a link tree now because I did things. And you'll be able to get access to all of our stuff. Our Twitter's not on there because we're not using Twitter right now because why the fuck would we? But we now do have Blue Sky. So shit seems to be popping off over on Blue Sky, so go check us out there. I will be on the Blue Sky. I will be putting up images of the models that I've made for the people that we've interacted with so far. So if you want to see what Osric looks like and you want to see exactly how close to Sean Bean this guy looks, which is about as close as I can get on Hero Forge. You should go and check out that, because he's going to be going up soon. And then once I've finalised all the designs for everybody's Hero Forges for the characters, I'll be getting them put up there as well. So definitely do go and check out our Blue Sky. Other than that, I've got nothing else to say. I do stuff on TikTok. You can see me at Son of Asgard. But right now, most of what I'm doing is yelling at people for being stupid and being obscenely Scottish. Don't know what else to say on that. That's it from me. So I'm going to pass over to my lovely players and allow them to plug themselves if they would like to. We'll start with Jess. Jess, anything you would like to plug at all? Anything at all?
I don't know if we're doing To the Skies this coming Wednesday, because you're going to be traveling.
I'll be stateside.
Yeah, so I'm here. I'll be here sometime on Wednesday and another Saturday, probably. Other than that, I'm happy and I'm here.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Jess. What about yourself, Jason? Anything you'd like to plug at all?
Yeah, so other than here, I'm on Dicey Tables podcast, and you can catch me at Dicey Tables RPG on any social media platform, where I am actively promoting my game that I'm making. So,
woo! We want to see the game.
Yeah,
show us the game. Yeah, when it comes out, or when you're playing it, or when you're debuting it. Let us know. We want to see it.
Yeah,
all right,
will do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Jason. And Abby, what about yourself? Anything you would like to plug at all?
Yeah, you can find me here. You can find me on the Star Ravens podcast, which I believe in January will be posting my own Dragon Age game, so that's fun. You can also find me at Witty X Witch on any social I am on. You will likely see me doing cosplay, including of one of the characters we met tonight, so that's fun. That's it.
Well, then, if that's everything
and
from...
if you see me at PAX, I'm there, so that's cool. I'll be at PAX too.
I'm trying to look at the pricing to bring my stuff to cosplay my Warden. Other than that, yeah, I think that's everything. If that's everything from me and it's everything from my cast, then that's everything from us. Thanks for coming to see us today, folks. I've been your keeper for today, Son of Asgard or World Tree Quest here on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. With me today, we have had Stories from the Roses. We've had... Sorry. Fuck, it's went out of my head again. Is it Wacky Man? I got it right! Yay! And we have had Witty X Witch. From all of us here at World Tree Quest. Good night. Stay safe. Never ever trust an old woman who sits at your campfire and just tells you weird cryptic shit. Because they're almost always psychopathic witches. Or Scottish grannies. Either one are very, very dangerous. Oh, and also, I'm not going to say don't pull a finny, but what I will say is, don't pull a fucking Solus. Good night, folks. Good night. And if they need more explanation on the don't pull a Solus, they need to go do Dragon Age shit.